Welcome to the Lynn Miller Room and this special edition of the Morehead State Coaches Show. We're with new football coach Rob Tenyer. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on getting the 14th head coaching job for Morehead State.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and appreciate you having me today too.
I know a lot of hard work has went into the last 12 years here at Morehead State and also your playing career. Let's start with maybe the people who may not know you. How did it all begin? Where are you from, and how did you get into football?
Well, for me, it started back in Marine City, Michigan, a small little lake town off Lake St. Clair, and I was a three-sport athlete in high school, and had a lot of great influence from some really great people during my athletic times. And from there, I went on to Olivet College, played 4 years of football there, lettered 4 years in football, and received a degree in secondary education. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I knew I wanted to coach. And then from there, I had an opportunity actually to go to Germany, and I played professionally there for the Landsberg Express football team. And I was the assistant head coach, offense coordinator, and quarterback. And so that was a great experience. And then after that, I was fortunate enough to land a graduate assistant position at California University of Pennsylvania, and spent 2 seasons there, and really fell in love with college coaching, and got to wear many different hats during that time. And during that time, I was part of a coaching transition and a new head coach, and so I was part of that as a player, and I was part of that as an assistant coach. So I really feel that'll be beneficial to me as we enter our new era here at Morehead State. After that, I landed at Center College in Danville, Kentucky. I spent 3 seasons there, and coached quarterbacks, wide receivers, and special teams coordinator, and also recruited our recruiting efforts, coordinated that. And from there, I've been at Morehead for 12 seasons. So
You wore a lot of different hats also in your years at Morehead State. The fact that, as any first-year coach who comes in, as you've done in the past, I guess you're a jack of all trades. The fact that, you have to coach your quarterbacks, as you said, and, of course, your offensive coordinator, and also playing at that time. And then you get to Morehead State, and, it's one of those situations where you have to do a lot of different things.
yeah.
So tell us how your roles in Morehead State have evolved into your offensive coordinator duties the last couple of years.
Well, I've been very fortunate, and Matt Ballard has given me a number of tremendous opportunities along the way. And when I first started here, of course, it was an entry-level position, and I left a full-time job to take this full-time job, and just felt like I wanted an opportunity to coach Division I football. So when I got here, I spent a little time in the equipment room, and then shortly after that, I found myself dealing with our strength and conditioning program, and I spent 5 years in the weight room with our players, and enjoyed that, and that was a great experience, and that was during our championship years, and so that was a lot of fun, and we had some great people in our program, and tremendous football players and hard workers, and after that, I held the recruiting coordinator title here for 3 years, and focused on that, and produced some pretty good classes, and so we're excited where we're at and how we benefited from that. And then, of course, my last 2 years as the offensive coordinator have been extremely beneficial for me.
I know the fact that you set a lot of records as offensive coordinator is fine, but like you said at the press conference, that won't define you, because you love the records and the kids play hard, but the fact is that you're open to whatever the talent level you have.
Correct. And then for me, when I was given the opportunity, I wanted to think outside the box. I wanted to be creative, and I felt like we needed something new. And so we've invested a lot of time in it, hard work from a coaching standpoint, but I want to give a lot of credit to our student athletes because they bought into it, worked extremely hard, and you know, I would say a lot of our players on offense would give a lot of those records up for some wins, and I feel the same way. You know, we did some really nice things, and we're going to continue to run a no huddle up tempo offense and have fun and try and score a lot of points. And so it's been a fun couple years, but we need to take this program to the next level and be able to play well on both sides of the football and win some football games.
The way your resume looks, and as you said, you know, being here at Morehead State, starting in the weight room, knowing the players that way, then moving your way up to offensive coordinator, and then the fact, you know, well-rounded. And that's what it takes to be a head coach. You just can't come in and be Mr. Offense or Mr. Defense. You've kind of started at the bottom and worked your way the past 12 years to deserve this shot.
Mm-hmm. This profession is about relationships, you know, and I've created some good relationships with our current players. And when I left that our first team meeting yesterday, they're ready to start playing some football, and they're excited about getting back in the weight room. And outside of football, the relationships are so important. And the internal support I had here at the university through the interview process, I really believe was a big difference in the end. So that's important. And again, my other relationships that will become important here are my dealings with the community and resurrecting our football alumni and getting them back in the fold.
I know yesterday at the press conference we were listening, the fact that you want to really concentrate on where the best players are, but also concentrate on Kentucky. 120 counties. I think your goal is you or your staff or someone from the Morehead State football program to hit all 120 counties starting when the recruiting starts when you come back in January.
Correct. And you know, we've got a plan, and we do. We really want to. We have a genuine interest in getting out there and getting in these high schools and developing relationships. And I'm really going to be committed, and I'm going to be the catalyst behind that. I want our coaches to have good relationships with the state of Kentucky. So whether it be visiting high schools or speaking at banquets or holding clinics or offering camps, which will be a big change here. And we're going to take care of our service region. We're going to focus on that, you know, all the way from Mason all the way down to Pike, and we're going to take care of those folks. And
22 counties, Morehead State Service Region, and, you know,
correct.
That's where a lot of our students come from.
Mm-hmm.
Why not our student athletes also come from there?
Correct.
So, you know, it's a daunting task if you think about 120 counties in the spring, but if you make that your goal and you have your plan, when you walk in the door, after that initial visit, they'll know the coach, they'll know you, they'll know the program, and it's easy to get to that recruiting aspect when you can walk in the door and they already know you.
Correct. And that process will begin earlier for us.
Yeah.
You know, now we can reach out while we're in the school with that coach and find out who he has as a sophomore or maybe a junior, and not only those upcoming seniors. So that'll be important too.
Rob Tenyer is our guest, a new football coach here at Morehead State University. Let's go back to the recruiting. You know, you were a recruiting coordinator here. You know, sometimes you try to sell the university. Sometimes you try to sell the football program. Sometimes you try to sell the style of offense or defense that you play. You know, you hit it on the head yesterday where you said Morehead State has, you know, a lot to offer these kids. And that has to be part of not your sales pitch, but your recruiting pitch to these young men and women that Morehead State, not only a good football school, but it's a great place to get education.
No question. And it's about building relationships, you know, and when you're recruiting young people and getting families involved, it's important that you're talking about the right things. So during that recruiting process, the number one priority is to find out what drives that student athlete. You know, what's important to him, what's important to his parents and guardians, and that's what you try to focus on. But we want to make sure that we sell not only our football program, but sell the mission of this university. And I shared that with the president during the interview process. I want our football program to mirror the mission of this university, and that's aspire to greatness. And for me, that's having great ideas and big dreams, but backing it up with a lot of hard work. And it also means to rise and elevate and put on a national stage. And we want to do that. We want to make this football program bigger and better, and make it into a consistent winner.
How important was it when you thought about applying for this job is the fact that the Pioneer Football League now has an automatic bid? Because now, you don't have to wish or hope that you might get a break and get in the playoffs. You win the league, you're going to make it to the playoffs.
Yes, sir. And to be honest with you, that's been used against us for quite some time. And I'm not a negative type recruiter. I'm going to sell what we have. People are going to understand what type of people we are, and what kind of product we're going to offer from a football standpoint, and how they will benefit from attending Morehead State University. But the landscape of the Pioneer Football League has now changed. So we're going to see. I can guarantee you there's going to be increases in staff, increases in recruiting budgets, because it's the real deal. We can now elevate this conference on a national platform. And the crazy thing about it is every year there's 2 or 3 teams that have a legitimate opportunity to win this conference, and we want to be one of those 3.
I know the fact that, as a coach, you go against some of the better, not only non-scholarship coaches, the fact that some of the coaches in our league could coach anywhere. I mean, PFL over the last few years of coaching has took a couple of notches up. So, as you see across the sidelines, that has to make a challenge to you, the fact that you see what they've done in Jacksonville, sure, and Drake and
yeah,
stuff like that, because we do have some excellent coaches in our league.
We do. We really do. And I think that I could realistically say that wasn't the case 10 years ago. And we've got some tremendous coaches, and I have respect for everybody in our conference from top to bottom, because this conference is very unique, and I understand our challenges. And every institution in this conference has different barriers and things they need to deal with from an institutional standpoint. But the coaching has gotten so much better. It really has, and it's interesting. A lot of these programs have turned to small college coaches. Guys that came up to the ranks and either played small college football, or maybe spent some time at the Division III level. Drake's that way, Butler's that way. JU hired a former high school coach, and myself, having experience, I played Division III. I recruited Division III, and some of the aspects that we deal with here, that will benefit me.
Is it more like Division III? I mean, people don't understand in a way. NCAA Division III is non-scholarship. And there are different ways of looking at things. I think you said it right yesterday, the fact that, we might need to take a look at what we've been doing and mm-hmm. adapt new approaches mm-hmm. to this situation.
Sure. I think certain aspects to it are certainly very similar to Division III. Of course, the benefits that we offer here is we're a very affordable public university, top-tier public university. And so that's an advantage for us, and we offer a lot from an academic standpoint. And so those are the things you need to focus on.
I think Brian Hutchinson, our athletic director, said yesterday that we are the only public university to play non-scholarship football in the country. And if you think about that, that's kind of nice to have that little niche to our own self.
Yes, no question. There's pros and cons to that,
of
course, because things can be used against you, and sometimes those other institutions in our conference has those private monies that they can utilize and things like that. So, but I'm proud to say that I'm a graduate of this university. My wife is. We have 7 members in our family that have graduated here from Morehead State, and Drew Kelly will be a graduate here the next few semesters, and he'll be number 8. So we have a lot to offer here. We really do, and our facilities are impressive in regards to athletics. And our president, Dr. Wayne Andrews, and Brian Hutchinson, has made it clear that they've made a commitment to athletics here, and they want to win.
Rob Tenyer is our guest. We'll come back with more with Coach Tenyer after this timeout. This is the Eagles Sports Coaches Show.
Good evening to you, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Welcome back to the Lynn Miller Room here at the campus of Morehead State University. Rob Tenyer is our guest, a new football coach at Morehead State University. Before we took the break, you were mentioning your family. Of course, Jane, a longtime employee here, and you know, you have some great family bloodlines, not athletically here at Morehead State, like you mentioned, Drew Kelly, and also the fact that Jane's father was Lake Kelly, a legendary basketball figure, not only in Kentucky but at Austin Peay. And you know, that family tradition serves you well, because I know they were all coming out yesterday to see you at the press conference, and you mentioned how much support they have given you over the years here.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate with our time here, and Jane is a great wife, my best friend, and of course, you know, my brother-in-law Lake is an employee. Lake Jr. is an employee here at the university, and you know, it makes it comfortable to know that this opportunity was genuine for me, because this is home right now. This is where I met my wife Jane. This is where our daughter Brooke was born, and this is where we want to be. This is where we want to be. So we're excited about being involved in the community here, and being visible assets in the community and in the university setting, and raising our daughter here, Brooke, too.
Besides the Kellys and the coaches that you mentioned, you also your family is also important. I know that, you know, as every one of us grow up, they sacrifice a lot, and I know that they couldn't be with you yesterday. The fact they were in Michigan, that has to feel good, though. The fact that they could see you online, and the fact that you could thank them on one of the biggest days of your life.
No question. And the story and an example I'll use is this: as I played 3 sports all the way through high school, and of course I played Little League, everything prior to that. Played 4 years of college football. And Mom and Dad didn't miss a game.
That's great. So that shows you an example of their sacrifice and their support to you.
Yeah.
Now we just have to get them a wing in the house, and they can come down and watch all the home games.
That would be tremendous. Yeah, that'd be great.
The fact that you know, home games will be very important to Morehead State. The fact Brian mentioned yesterday, 7 home games the first year. That has to be a great surprise, because most coaches don't get 7 home games in that first year.
No question. I don't know many coaches that have an opportunity to have 7 home games through their entire career. So we're excited about that, and that's one of the mentality and culture changes we want to make. That this is our stadium, and we're gonna do things to boost our attendance here and get folks in the stands. And we're going to have people in the community excited about our football program, and we want to perform well when we play at home, and that's exciting. And I'm looking forward to that.
Take some pride in the home games. You know, you want to win all of them, but the fact that you hit the points yesterday, the fact that you, your staff, your players are going to be involved in the community, they're going to be involved in the university, and that way, once they leave here, they'll feel a part of the family. I mean, they were part of the family before, but the fact that you really want to emphasize the fact to touch base with the alumni and make sure when they come back to Morehead State, they come by the office and see
Sure.
you and talk, because, you know, the alumni are 6,300 strong here at Morehead State University, and that's a very important part of any program here.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, the important aspect from my end is this, and it's a very simple one, is we have to provide a great experience for our student athletes while they're here. And we're gonna coach in a positive manner, and we're gonna be stern, and we're gonna coach them hard, but we are gonna be flexible, and we're gonna try and help them develop mentally and physically, and also be able to market them after graduation. So when they leave here, they're prepared to find a job and something that they want to do and they truly have a passion to do. And then, because of that experience, they will come back and look forward to coming back and come back more than just one time a year, you know, and reach out and we're going to do some things with some alumni functions in Lexington and Louisville and Cincinnati, and have some social gatherings during homecoming and those type of things. So I'm looking forward to that.
You know, as a coach, you have so many, I guess, outside pulling you away and everything, which is nice. The fact that you know, the mark of a great program is the fact that when the kids do get to come home, they want to come back and visit the coaches, and you know, and we have that here. I know you have former players that come back. Heck, it was a great crowd yesterday. The fact that your players now and some of the former players came out and showed the support. We forgot to touch that subject. I mean, what a great day yesterday. The fact that the Eagle Center was almost full.
It was. When I told Brian, I said, well, we're leaving the green room. We're going out front. And so when I got out there, it was a great crowd. And I appreciate the support. And I have worked very hard to foster relationships with our players during their time here, and of course, following graduation. And again, I think those external factors played a big part in the hiring process of this job. And and Brian will be the first to tell you, he had 4, 5, 6 pages full of former players and coaches that reached out on my behalf. And it was pretty overwhelming. It really was. And but that tells you that I'm doing it for the right reason.
How was it personally when you got the call Wednesday offering in the job?
Well, actually, Brian called and said, "Could you stop out to my house?" And I looked at my wife. We were out to dinner as family, and I says, "Should I text him back and see if I could bring you?"
Yeah.
She says, "Well, I don't know if I want to know that. We might know the decision based off of that." So I said I can be there at 7 o'clock. So we finished dinner and dropped them off, headed out there, and opened the door. And his wife Elizabeth welcomed me in and walked me back through the house. And he was waiting for me in the living room. So he says, "Well, I stopped by the house to offer you the job, and you weren't there." I said, "Well, I accept."
Yeah.
I accept.
So that's a great moment. I know you'll remember that all your life. At least he didn't just give you keys to a U-Haul truck or something and say,
Yeah.
I stopped by the house, but but
he could have turned around and offered me half the salary that he had in mind too, right?
That's true. That's true. A little negotiation there. But I know that a lot of people wants to know offensively, keeping up, as I call it, almost fast break football, the fact that no huddle, up to the line. You know, as a former conditioning coach, I mean, you know how hard it is for these young men to get up there in July and August and play that style of football. You've had success. How are you shaping up towards the offense this year? I know you said you're going to keep basically the same offense, but I guess you'll tweak it. Depends on the players you have.
No question. I think philosophy won't change. You know, schematically we will change some depending on personnel. Obviously, offensively, and if you include Rayner, we graduated probably 3 future Hall of Fame football players, and Dante Sawyer and Zach Lewis, and then Rayner Duzan. So but we've got some young men in our program that we're excited about. We're going to have great competition at the quarterback position, and in competition we feel very confident about. And so I'm excited to do that and get rolling with our offense, and we're going to keep things real similar, and we'll adapt year to year. You know, we're going to do some new things, and but the bottom line is we'll go into it in the spring, and we'll look at what we have from a personnel standpoint, just like we did last spring. We went in the last spring and said we need to be better on third downs. We need to be better in the red zone. This year we're 52% on third downs, and we led the country, we led the PFL.
Yeah.
And I believe we were top 6, 7, or 8 in FCS in red zone scoring, and scoring 34 touchdowns. So I apologize to Rayner because I probably took away from a few points for that he would typically.
I think he'd rather kick that extra point sometimes than a field goal. But
so,
you know, that's what you have to do, and you know, offensively and defensively, this spring's going to be big for you. Your first spring. The guys are going to get to know that, you know, the fact that you're in charge now, and you know, that's going to be a great thing. And it's different. I guess you get you get 20 days in the spring or 10 days in the spring. I forgot what the PFL rules
15
are.
practices.
15 practices. So you have so many days to get those in, you know, and each practice is going to be, you know, special because you don't have a lot of time to get your stuff in before you let them go in the spring.
Well, fortunately, that's one of the things that's so positive about what we do offensively is we've really, when we implemented it, we've really simplified things, and that will be my #1 priority for our defense. Is I want to be able to simplify things for our players, and obviously make it more difficult on teams offensively. Yeah. But defensively, I want to rush the quarterback. I want a physical front, and I want to get after the quarterback. And when they throw the football, we want to pressure the quarterback. And we're going to be sound in what we do, and you know, depending who we bring in and what type of staff that we have. So it'll be a new philosophy. And I can tell you this from our team meeting and our individual meetings. Our young people are excited, and they are excited about the winter conditioning, and they are fired up about having the opportunity to have some new staff possibly, and really learn something new, and buying into a new philosophy.
Well, it's so important, the winter conditioning program, and if they're psyched up for it and going to, you know, either prove of these PFL doubters that Morehead State is a true and a solid football program, that just helps you out in a way, the fact that they want to work hard in the winter, because if you don't work hard in the winter, you're not going to improve as a football program. No
question. I think that, you know, a lot of people say the summertime is an important time, and I think they're all important. But that time following the season, after a little holiday rest, and when you come back, that's the time that you can really transform your individual skill level and increase strength levels, flexibility and speed and quickness and those type things. And Sean Williamson does an outstanding job in our weight room. And our personalities, him and I, are pretty darn
close.
So I'm excited to work with him. He's excited to work with me. And we visited briefly and have some great ideas. And the one thing I told our young men yesterday, I said, you go home and enjoy your holiday, because you're going to come back and you're going to work like you never worked before.
Kind of, I think you might have even termed yourself yesterday as old school. I mean, you adapt. If you see the highlights behind us, the fact that our offense is kind of visionary offense, but still you have that old school beliefs, the fact that you have to earn it, you have to work hard, nothing's going to be given to you.
Yeah. And I mentioned offensively, I want to think outside the box. I wanted something different offensively. I wanted something that our athletes could invest in, that would benefit us in recruiting, and something that we could take call it ours.
Yeah.
And defensively is the demeanor that I'm looking for, old school.
Yeah.
I want to be tough. I want to be physical. When folks show up to play Morehead State, they know they're going to be in for a dogfight. But I want our young people, I want them playing hard, high energy, playing smart football, physical football, and just flying around having a lot of fun.
Rob, we appreciate your time. People get to know, well, they know you already, but the people who may not got to know you a little bit in this half hour we've spent, do you, I guess, want to close this with anything else? I know you thanked a lot of people yesterday, but it is a special time for you and your family right around the holiday season. So, pretty good gift, I guess.
Well, I told Jane, I said, I don't think you should buy me a Christmas gift this year. This is pretty good darn gift itself. So, but it's a gift for all of us, my entire family, and we're really looking forward to the opportunity to serve this university and in the local community and win a lot of football games. So, I'd like to say happy holidays to all of our current players,
yeah.
Former players, MSU alumni. And I look forward to working with everyone and developing great relationships and really creating a venue for a football program that everyone's going to be proud of.
New football coach Rob Tenyer, and that's going to do it for this segment of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.